One popular genre of TV shows are medical TV shows, and The Resident is definitely one of them. They're already approaching the release of Season 6. However, some fans need to be caught up with the craziness that happened in Season 5. Here's everything you need to remember before the next season starts. First up, the ongoing theme of grief. The creators of the show share that the whole show has been revolved around the loss of Nicolette, or Nick, who was played by the actress Emily Van Camp. Nicolette has been absent for the first 2 episodes, and it was said in the show that she was on a spa retreat. However, on her way back from that, she tragically got into an accident and suffered from serious brain damage, which consequently led to her death. Fans were stunned when they lost her at the beginning of Season 5, and how the show quickly progressed to themes of grief, about coming back from grief and learning to live and even possibly find love again. Conrad's character in the show has found himself frequently reminiscing on the memory of his and Nick's first real date night after Gigi, their daughter, was born. However, during their night out, Conrad had run into a young woman whose husband he'd previously diagnosed with cancer, who had been in the ICU after having a bad reaction to the chemotherapy he'd received. The meetup had gotten Conrad to start thinking about his own mortality, and at home later that night after their date, he joked but then got serious with Nicolette about wanting her to find another person to love if he passed away. Throughout the show, one of the main themes has been about life and death, and how you embrace that mortality, accept the loss of others, and then move on with your life. After a while, I do want you to move on, Conrad had told his wife. Just promise me, whoever it is, find somebody who loves you as much as I do. Then Nick had turned the tables and made him promise the same thing, only if you do too. And back in the present, when Conrad was celebrating Kit and Belle's engagement with his co-workers at their favorite bar, Conrad shockingly had not one, but 2 much-teased potential love interests, Billy and Cade, were both sitting at the bar. Showrunners had decided to leave fans with a cliffhanger of who Conrad would choose. Executive producer of the show, Andrew Chapman, talked about the season finale of Season 5, and said, "Given that we had Billy already on the show, and then we got Cade, and she was fantastic and a great character, we just loved the idea that at the end of the season, Conrad would be ready to move on. But we weren't going to make that choice yet," he said. "We felt like that wouldn't be appropriate to the whole idea of grief and moving on, making the choice for the premiere of next season. And in fact, we have an idea laid out of what exactly it will be, and how we'll lay it out on the audience. That will be an entirely new idea." He explained that with the unexpected loss of Emily Van Camp in the show, that was so abrupt at the beginning of the season, they had to shuffle things around. But once they got comfortable with the new forming storyline and the overlying theme, they had understood what the season was about, and that had helped them shape the finale into what it was. Andrew Chapman also did reveal that they have already picked a love interest for Conrad in the show for Season 6. "Yes, we have decided, and we've even decided on how to parse out the information. I'll just say it's a fun, unexpected reveal where choices have been made." Now for Leela and Devin's relationship trouble. There was another relationship on the line in Season 5, and that was with Leela and Devin. Much to fans' dismay, the pair broke up in Season 5 of The Resident. Their breakup had to do with the topic of kids, and what they wanted with their future in that aspect. Leela didn't want children, and in the show, she didn't think she would ever want them. And when Devin offered to be Padma's sperm donor in the show, and that had shook Leela. In the show, she realized this meant that Devin wanted children, and it wasn't something that she could or wanted to offer him. This is where their relationship ran into problems, because Devin did want a traditional family. There was nothing wrong with Devin wanting to be a father, and there was nothing wrong with Leela not wanting kids. However, because the two thought differently on the matter, they just weren't compatible in the aspect. When asked if there was a possibility of Devin leaving the show, Chapman said, "No, not realistically. We wanted to show that he is a real rock star in the world of medicine, and we really want to go with that. He's moved up to being this scientist doctor who's lauded and sought after by other hospitals, and we just love the idea that he's a superstar. We wanted to show that, and show the way that being an ambitious doctor wreaks havoc on your personal life. I don't want kids. Not now. Not in a few years. Maybe never, okay?" And when Devin refused to apologize for wanting a family of his own one day, Leela countered that she won't apologize for not wanting something different. "So what are you saying then? This is it? This is the end?" Leela asked. "Yeah, I guess I am," Devin replied, and he left. Next up, Kit and Belle got engaged. As mentioned previously, Kit and Belle got engaged in Season 5 of The Resident. This happened in episode 20 of the series when their colleague Dr. AJ, who is Austin's mom, passed away. This sparked a conversation between the two that later led to a double proposal. Both of them asked each other the question at the same time, and fans were more than overjoyed for the two. This comes after his diagnosis with multiple sclerosis, and he had originally tried to push away his then girlfriend. Kit and Belle had gotten together in just episode 6 previously after a 3-year time jump, and fans have been long awaiting for them to get together. Now, fans are just waiting for the actual wedding to happen, but as for now, the celebration of their engagement is where the season finale left off, and fans had to wait a while before getting any more content from this group of doctors. So when will Season 6 come out? Season 6 of The Resident has already premiered, and there have already been 2 episodes released. So now that we've recapped the 2 major events in Season 5, let's go over what's happening now and where the show left off. In the season premiere, most of the excitement that occurred focused on Ian performing a risque surgery to save Padma and the twins. However, the show also showed who Conrad chose to pursue romantically, and it's no surprise to fans that he chose Cade. Billy had also admitted in the show that while she and Conrad aren't together, they are the closest they've ever never been in the show and are even possibly best friends now, but Billy still harbors feelings for him. In the show, Billy had a discussion with AJ that left fans shook. Conrad chose Cade thinking you weren't interested because you're Nick's best friend. He figured that was a line you wouldn't cross, and he allowed him to think that because you would never cross it, AJ had said. Now, it's too late. Billy had remorsed. No, it's never too late to win the love of your life back, AJ had said. If they spend the season building on Billy and Conrad dynamic, the resident will have continued the previous love triangle fans were left off with at the end of season 5. However, if we were to ever see a Billy and Conrad pairing, it wouldn't come until later because of all the content and scenes given before with Cade. Some think it's also hard to imagine Billy pining after Conrad. Meanwhile, Padma had complications with her twins in the show, and while Devin and Leela aren't together, they're both panicked and worrisome about the dangers of the situation. The twins had problems with their hearts and twin-to-twin transfusion syndrome, a very rare condition that can affect twins. Ian pulled off a fetal surgery on the twins that had fans on the edge of their seats. If he hadn't performed the procedure, both babies would have died, and Padma almost died because they couldn't ship her out to a nearby facility better equipped for fetal medicine because of a storm and the imminent danger she was in. They were on a clock. It doesn't matter that they had the best doctors if those doctors are in an environment that lack proper resources and funding to help their patients. Luckily, however, Ian pulled it off. Yet while Ian did save the day, he has also still been struggling with his substance abuse issues, which we will most likely see more of as the season progresses. The second episode has also recently aired as well. So, what do you think of the video? Do you think Conrad will stick with his choice with Cade? Are you excited for Kit and Belle's wedding? And do you think Devin and Leela will get back together? Let us know in the comments, and don't forget to like and subscribe.